For those of you who were at the panel, you probably heard some of this information that I'm going to talk about today. So my name is Claire Thurlow. I work for a company called Eagle Technology, and I'm going to be joined a little bit later on in this little section by two of my colleagues, Alice and Callie, and they've both come through our internship program. So I'm just going to ask them some questions about what they did during their time here or do currently and what they did in their internship. So what else are we going to talk about? Well, I thought I'd give you a little bit of background around Eagle Technology and then focus in on the part of Eagle Technology I work with, which is the GIS side of things and what is GIS. And then, as I said, we'll go into some Q&A. So who are Eagle Technology? Well, we are a privately owned business. We're actually a family owned business. So the Eagle family own Eagle Technology, and Dwayne Eagle is our CEO, general manager. And the family has owned the business since 1969, which for a technology company is actually a long time to be in business, so over 50 years. We do have a focus on that systems integration and information management area, and we are also what's called the Esri official distributor for New Zealand and the South Pacific. So we do work across the South Pacific as well. My focus is in that Esri distributorship part of the business. And what does the Esri distributorship actually mean? It means that we work solely with a product called ArcGIS, which takes geography and it brings it into an information system. And ArcGIS is created by Esri. And so we support that. Because of that, Esri and geography takes a real part in everything that we do as part of our GIS team within the Eagle family. And that might be including when employees are doing something like installing the server-side components of the ArcGIS system, creating an application, architecturing an installation project, and supporting customers to utilize our technology in ArcGIS. So I have mentioned that we are an Esri distributor. And so what does that mean? That means that we actually are part of a bigger family of Esri distributors around the world. Esri is a company that creates ArcGIS. They are based in the States. And for every country in the world that actually distributes ArcGIS, there is an Esri distributor. Usually they're a little bit easier to find than Eagle Technology is because they might be Esri Australia or Esri Afghanistan or Esri Deutschland for Germany. But it also means that if you come and work for Eagle Technology, there is opportunities to actually work at other distributors around the world if you want to go and do your OE, for example. So one of our more recent graduates is actually just about to start a job at Esri Island to go off and explore Europe as part of his OE. So what about geographic information systems or GIS? What exactly is it? And I've got a wee video that I'm going to try and run and see if we can get some sound going through Zoom in just a moment. So I'm sharing sound, which is great already. So let's go with playing that video.
GIS stands for Geographic Information System. Using computer hardware, software, and a ton of raw data, we can explore the fundamental principle of geography, that location is important in people's lives. Using GIS, we can view, understand, question, visualize, and interpret data in visual ways that reveal relationships and patterns, which allows us to make better decisions. For example, a meteorologist might study the paths of hurricanes to predict where and when they might occur in the future. A city planner can choose the best location for a new park or hospital, ensuring that they are built in the place where they're needed the most. GIS is essential to understanding what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen in geographic space. Geographic understanding brings wisdom, and with wisdom, we can make better decisions to create a brighter future.
So we are actually trying to bring geography into the computer system when we're talking about GIS, what we see in the real world, into I guess we could call it a digital twin inside of a computer. And as the distributor, or the Esri distributor in New Zealand, we are helping to support our customers to do all those things that you saw about in the slides. So to do that creating of data, to manage data, to create maps, to analyze data, to ask the question of what if we do A, B, or C, and what impact does that have on our surroundings and our environment. And so that's the key of what GIS is all about. I'm actually just going to take us through to this website, which is What is GIS website. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm just going to see if I can pop that URL into the chat window for people if they'd like to know a little bit more about what GIS is all about. The other thing that we like to think that we do is help people see what others can't, because we're taking that location component into the patterns that we see in the real world. Now, I was going to play a video, but actually I'd prefer to get on to talking to Alice and Callie about what they do at Eagle and the experience that they've had as interns. So let me go on and do that. But first, before we do that, I'm going to have a talk about our internship program. And so our internship program is slightly different to what you've heard about, I guess, as a typical internship program. We have initially a 6-month program, which we call our internship program. And it is actually a 6-month paid position, and it is expected that you have actually already finished your graduation or graduated from university or the organisation, educational institution that you're studying at. And so it is full-time, and as part of that first 6 months, you do get a really intensive first 6 weeks on what we call the Gallup program. And so Gallup stands for Geospatial Accelerated Learning Program, and we call it the express version because it used to be a 3-month program, and we decided that that was actually too intensive for our interns, and so we actually condensed it down to a 6-week program. And basically what you do in that Gallup program is you get exposed to everything that's inside of the ArcGIS platform, which is the platform that Esri has created and we support and sell at Eagle Technology. And then once you've done your 6-week program with the Gallup program, you get let loose into the teams at Eagle to do a variety of different things within, especially our technical solutions team and our support team. So to tell us a little bit more about that experience, I have with me Alice Mill, and she is now a GIS consultant at Eagle Technology, but she did start out as one of our GIS interns. And also Callie, she once again is one of our GIS consultants now, but once again she has started out a little bit more recently as a GIS intern at Eagle. So you guys, I'm going to ask you some questions just so you can give us a little bit of background about yourselves and also what you do at Eagle. So maybe Alice, I start with you and you can tell us a little bit about what you do at Eagle Technology.
Hi everyone, so I work in the technical support team. So that's a team that helps out with all GIS users across New Zealand that might run into issues with our software or just need help with their workflows, but we also work in the training sector. So that's training people like the Gallup course. Our trainers work on Gallup, or we'll go into organizations and help teach people how to use our products.
Cool, thanks, Alice. And Callie, what about you? What do you do?
I'm working as a GIS consultant in Eagle. I work in supporting to help customers to resolve issues of the Esri products across different platforms. And I also work in content, mainly focus on developing very cool 3D building space map for whole New Zealand.
Cool, thanks, Callie. I guess taking us a step back to, you've got jobs at Eagle now, but what made you choose Eagle as a place to seek employment?
So when I was at university, Eagle was mentioned every now and again because it is the New Zealand distributor for Esri. So it was a name I'd heard and I trusted as a company when I was looking for a place to apply. And I had a look at the Eagle website and I saw the amount of training that they put into their interns, and I thought it would just be a great place to start out my career, and it has been.
Cool, thanks, Alice. What about you, Callie? Why did you choose Eagle to apply for a job?
Because I heard about Eagle since I was in the university, and Alice and I have known each other since uni. So when I applied for my internship, she's already in Eagle. And I heard that Eagle has a Gallup X for accelerating and kicking off to the Korean. So yeah, there's no pressure for interns.
And since you both mentioned university, whereabouts did you study and what did you study at university? Alice, maybe you can go first.
So I studied at Otago and I did geography for my first 3 years as my major, and then at the end of my third year I found GIS and I decided to stay at university and do GIS as a minor for an extra year.
Cool, thanks, Alice. And what about you, Callie? What did you do at university?
I graduated from University of Otago as well, and with Bachelor of Applied Science, major in GIS and minor in mathematics.
Cool, so slightly different paths as far as your majors are concerned, but both ending up in that GIS area. What was it specifically that drew you to GIS?
So doing geography, I always really enjoyed collecting data and seeing the processes. And then when I started doing GIS, I could see the actual patterns of my data. I could see the analysis. I could visualize what I had been doing for the past few years as a physical form. It was just really cool to see the data visualized.
Cool. And what about you, Callie? What drew you to GIS?
Pretty much same as Alice. We can see the data, very cool patterns, and you can visualize the data. And I take the minor in mathematics when I was in uni, so I like data analysis. So that brings the data analysis and visualize to the math. That's very cool.
Yeah, cool. And I guess bringing it forward to now that you're working at Eagle, what is the best thing that you like about working at Eagle, Alice?
Everybody at Eagle is very, very encouraging. I've never gone to ask somebody for help and had them say, no, I don't have time. They really do their best to make sure that everybody's succeeding, whether that's putting you on any training course you asked to go on, or just mentors taking 3 hours on a phone call to explain something that probably doesn't need to take that long, but they just want to make sure you know what it is.
Cool. And what about you, Callie? What was one of the best things about working at Eagle?
I think the work culture in Eagle is very good here. Colleagues are very helpful, and you're always encouraged to learning the topics that you are interested in.
Cool, thank you. And both of you started at Eagle during a pandemic. So I guess one of the last questions I want to throw at you is, what were some of the challenges in actually doing that? So Alice, maybe you can share some challenges.
So I was lucky when I first started my internship, we were able to go into the office and be in person. And then towards the end of my first 6 weeks, we went back into working from home. And it made it a little bit tricky to know who I could go to ask for help, because I hadn't had time in the office to know, oh, so-and-so is best to go to for this, or whatever process it was I needed help with. So that made it a little bit tricky. And then working from home is always hard because it's distracting.
Yeah. And what about you, Callie? What was one of the hardest things about starting at Eagle during a pandemic?
I think I'm thinking the same way as Alice, staying motivated when work from home.
Yeah. So sometimes it can be difficult, especially when you're new to a subject and new to a company as well. Yeah. Do you have any advice for the graduates that we have online about seeking their first job?
Just apply for any job that looks interesting to you, even if you don't necessarily think you match the description. You never know. When I applied to Eagle, I didn't think I was going to get it. I was like, everybody's going to be better than me, but that's not the case. It's not always based on your qualifications. Half the time it's based on who you are and how you will fit into the company.
Yeah. And Callie, what about yourself?
Don't be afraid, just go ahead and grab the opportunities.
Cool. Thank you, guys. That's really great to hear. I've got a couple of questions here, just really general ones about the internship program. And so our internship program does actually run from our Wellington office. Our head office is actually in Auckland, just down the road from Prospel and Kami, actually. But our intern program does actually run from our Wellington office. So ideally you would be Wellington based, but you don't need to be. There is just some questions about non-related GIS degrees that would be useful at Eagle. And so we do have a number of interns that have come through with computer science backgrounds. And so, for example, we have a younger developer who has come through with sort of more of that developer side of things, with Python being one of the things that he's very, very good at and studied at university. AI is also one of the areas that he studied at university as well. But we also have managed services. And so that would be things like looking at architecturing a installation of ArcGIS as well. So networking and things like that. And I've just been told that I need to wrap up, so that's fine. So I'm going to wrap us up, and I can actually take some of those questions that are still there and answer them by typing them into the chat once the question and answer area there.